New Year's resolutions. Every year we task ourselves with a long list of self-improvement goals, but why are they so hard to stick to? Well, let's go over the most common New Year's resolution goals and leave a comment on what you hope to accomplish this upcoming year. The top New Year's resolution goals include exercise, losing weight, eating healthier, saving more money, learning a new skill or hobby, quitting smoking, reading more books, finding a new job, drinking less alcohol. How about that one? Spending more time with friends and family, traveling more, reducing stress, learn a new language, sleep better, less time on social media. How about practicing mindfulness or meditation, which was the topic of our last video. So if you want to watch that video next, there'll be a link after this video is over. And lastly, to focus on personal growth, which focusing on personal growth is one of the main foundations of this channel. To make more better decisions instead of worse decisions. To incrementally improve your life. To get back what we lost during years of binge drinking. And also too, other bad habits. And speaking of incrementally, there's a very important key to success that I want you to remember to make sure that you have the success in achieving your upcoming goals. And you might want to write this down because I'm going to quiz you in like 2 minutes. The key to success is do not overcommit. I'm going to say that again. Do not overcommit. Overcommitting leads to failure. Taking on more than we can handle leads to anxiety and stress. And one of the main reasons why we binge drink is because we get stressed out and lack better coping mechanisms. We always talk about perfecting the recipe of your day to have the success that we want to have mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. So we know that we need to limit the amount of stress in our day. You might ask, why is reducing stress so important when it comes to achieving New Year's resolutions? Well, let's go over the data. Studies show that about 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by mid-February, and that only 9% of people who make New Year's resolutions are successful in keeping them. And on top of that, 23% of people abandon their resolutions by the end of the first week of January, and 43% give up entirely by the end of January. So now that we know that 80% of people are going to fail by February, what are we going to do differently? Now that we have that knowledge, we can simply choose to rewire and to reframe our minds. Are you going to be part of the 20% that succeeds? Or are you going to be part of the 80% that fails? Comment down below. I will be part of the 20% who succeeds. It's all about practicing those positive affirmations. Speak it into existence. I will not fail. So it's time for a pop quiz to see if you're paying attention. What's the key to success for achieving New Year's resolutions? Here comes the answer. Do not overcommit. That's right. It's important to set realistic goals for self-improvement. It's one thing to be motivated today, but it's an entirely different thing to have to do the work tomorrow. And just like it's important to taper off, say, alcohol and other bad habits slowly, it's important to taper onto good habits slowly or incrementally. Think about it. There's really no difference between you on, say, December 28th than there is the version of you that's going to wake up on January 1st. And if your goal is to get sober, what are you going to do to prepare for sobriety? And by the way, if you're not sure how to prepare for sobriety, well, the good news is we have a video for that. 10 proven ways to prepare for sobriety. The reason why 80% of people fail at sticking to New Year's resolutions is simply because a lot of people set unrealistic expectations, because people lack a proper plan, because they have insufficient motivation. And on top of that, a lot of people don't have a positive mindset towards their resolution goals. So again, set realistic and measurable goals. You might want to write that one down too. And make sure that you maintain a positive attitude. And most importantly, create a supportive environment for these new changes. Remember, progress, not perfection. It's important to embrace your flaws and know where to make improvements. Get ahead of the version of yourself that has years of practice with regard to self-sabotaging. Show of hands, how many people have a lazy bone in their body? All of us, right? How many of us get cold feet when it comes to working out or doing chores and being responsible? Again, all of us, right? So now that we know that, we embrace our shadow, our dark side, our laziness, and give it room to grow. There's only so much time in the day, and there's only so much energy that we have during the day. Think about it. If you have a full-time job, a family to take care of, or maybe you're helping out with a sick friend or family member. It's important to set easy to achieve goals for your future self to accomplish. Remember what we said in a previous video? You are both the boss and the employee of the company of you. So what does that mean? That means that when the boss version of you comes up with these new ideas for personal growth and change, it's important to be a good boss and know what the employee version of you is actually capable of. Because if employee you wakes up on New Year's Day, but boss you made a new personal work schedule that looks something like read a chapter in a book a day, exercise for an hour, no junk food, be sober, start a new hobby, learn a new language. Oh, and then you also have to work full time, make dinner for your family, take the dog for a walk, and then go grocery shopping. You are absolutely going to be overwhelmed before you even get started. For a lot of people, myself included, that's an unrealistic amount of tasks to do, especially when you have to practice in taking on that kind of workload. Remember, practice makes progress. You are practicing new routines. This is where the 2190 rule is very important to remember. The 2190 rule states that it takes about 21 days to start a new habit, and it takes about 90 days for it to become a more permanent lifestyle change. So don't be so hard on yourself. Allow yourself the time and the space to be imperfect, but keep your eyes on your goals. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The most important relationship that you're ever gonna have is the relationship that you have with yourself. You have to be willing to believe that you can change. Not overnight, be realistic. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to be understanding and fair, not weak. Be a good boss and allow yourself to have the time, the energy, and the space to succeed. Treat yourself like you would treat your own 5-year-old son or daughter. This is the time for tough love, but don't forget the love part. One of the most popular time management philosophies is the ABC method. The ABC method breaks down priorities into 3 categories, A, B, and C. The A items are must-do items. B items are should-do items. And C items are items that would be nice to do. And since this channel is about sobriety, we would consider sobriety to be an A-list priority. And because so many people find success with sobriety when they pair with other healthy habits such as exercise and eating healthier, we even have a video on 5 healthy habits to start after getting sober. And I'll put a link to that video in the video description down below. Then all of a sudden, once you start pairing up these good habits, now you have a solid plan for what to focus on for the first 30 days of the new year, which is honestly all that one person should reasonably expect to achieve on top of your already busy lives. So make sure you simplify your list to maybe just 3 to 5 priority items that'll give you the most bang for your buck. So if we go back over the common list of New Year's resolutions, I'll put them up here on the screen. If we focus on just getting sober, you're also going to be working on personal growth. You're also going to be working on saving more money. You also might spend more time with friends and family. And then you'll also, since you're saving money, you'll have more money to travel. You'll also have more time to read books. And you're most likely going to reduce your stress and be more consistent and reliable, so you might end up finding a new job and have a better capacity to practice mindfulness, which was our last video. If you want to watch that one, we'll also put a link in the video description down below. And with the added bonus of eating healthier and daily exercise, it's basically a cheat code to enhance or turbo boost your self-improvement goals, to increase longevity, to have better relationships with your friends, your family, your coworkers, to stop the self-doubt and the negative mind chatter in your brain. Does that sound familiar? To start believing in yourself again, to start loving yourself again, and to start living life moving forward and to stop looking back. So my advice to you for achieving your goals this upcoming year is to not think of it as a whole year. That's pretty scary, right? Just like with sobriety, it's one day at a time. Make it your goal to just accomplish 3 things that are very important to you during the first month of the year. Maybe the powerful trio that we mentioned earlier, sobriety coupled with eating healthy and exercising. And remember, you're practicing. You don't need to be perfect, but you do have to put in the effort. Remember, you are working towards reestablishing the relationship that you have with yourself. And just like any relationship, you have to be honest with yourself. And you also have to answer to yourself. So here's 2 methods that always help me in this particular situation. You might want to write this one down too. So number 1, at the end of the night, you have to ask yourself this question. I do this every night. The question is, did I earn my sleep? Go ahead and write that down. Did I earn my sleep? Some days the answer will be yes, and some days the answer will be no. And when the days come that the answer is no, it's not to make yourself suffer and to feel guilt and to feel anxiety. It's simply an exercise to be honest with yourself, evaluate what went right, but more specifically, to answer what was actually in your control that you could have done better and will do better tomorrow. Did I earn my sleep? So what can I do better tomorrow? And that doesn't mean if you skipped going to the gym for an hour today that you have to go for 2 hours tomorrow. But bonus points if you do. But that does mean that tomorrow you will pick up the slack and you will pick up where you left off. Make the effort. And the second part is, write this one down, know that you have to answer to yourself in the morning. Same team, remember? Just because you're going to bed doesn't mean that your responsibilities disappear. Just like getting drunk. Everything that you didn't do today will still be there tomorrow. So, how will tomorrow you feel when they wake up? Because you're gonna be that person. Will you feel betrayed by yourself? By what you didn't do yesterday? Or will you feel loved and cared about and thought of because today you worked on setting yourself up for success for tomorrow? One of the things that I started saying to myself was, thanks past me for anything, for taking out the trash, for having done the laundry, for having gone to the grocery store so I have food to pack for my lunch tomorrow, for setting out my clothes on the bed the next day. And how about this one? Thanks past me for not getting drunk last night. So that way, if I do want to hit the snooze button, I earned it the night before. I'm looking out for me. Remember, you are on the same team as you. So treat yourself that way this upcoming year. Decide on which New Year's resolution goals are going to give you the biggest return on your investment. So if you didn't do it earlier, I want you to comment down below what your list of 3 manageable and realistic goals are for the upcoming year. Just make it a 30-day challenge. Don't stress yourself out about having to do it for the entire year. Or feel like you have to get married to all these new healthy habits for a whole year. That's really scary. I would be scared too. It's one day at a time, 1 month at a time. And if you're looking for a great book on the topic of creating better habits, I strongly suggest the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you want to grab a copy or an audiobook for yourself on Amazon, click the link in the top corner of the screen, which, by the way, you can download for free if you've never signed up for an Amazon Audible account. But if you've never had Audible, you get a free trial, so that means you get the book for free. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and we always love hearing from you. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. And with that, I want to wish you good luck on your self-improvement journey and a Happy New Year. And I will see you in the next video. If you want to see another one of our videos, click here.